Let's get this party started.
Coverage tight, spotlight on tomorrow. Who you with? Trust, you'll be delighted that you followed. At first contention, the invention. We debate sports, of course we should mention. What's that? We cover games, we don't play suspensions. We 100, so if your star's missing, we let you know your squad surely gone fishing. We never fish though, no, not our motto. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention.
First contention, welcome back. It's your boy Marvin Banks in the building. You know how we like to do, just sit back, relax inside the barbershop. Here with my main man, Ty Wolfson. Ty, what's going on?
Salutations. We have quite the lineup. We've got some breaking news, but it still fits into the theme. Mark, what's the theme of this?
Worst behavior, because there was a lot of worst behavior happening this past weekend within sports and entertainment. A lot
Mucho.
of everything.
Extravagant. That's not a good enough word for large. Grande.
Mucho
Huge.
grande.
Colossal.
Exactly. So all of that, Ty.
All the above.
We sport on deals, on court.
Let's start with the breaking news. So if you may have heard today, allegations first surfaced in August about some recruiting things that are going on in Louisville with some money involved, some alcohol, some women, and some sex. So all this was used to lure players to play for Coach Pitino and the Louisville Cardinals. Now, since then, for those who may have heard very, very recently, Katrina Powell has not only come to the surface, she has written a book, Breaking the Cardinal Rules. Last full book I read from beginning to cover that was not school related was Confessions of a Video Vixen. So I mean, this seems like a book that I may need to pick this up.
Right up your alley, Ty.
Mar, for one thing, am I missing anything? Because this is a juicy topic. Secondly, your thoughts on everything.
Well, when you think about the story and what's happening, you gotta remember there's a graduate assistant, Coach McGee, that's involved.
Coach M.
Yeah, Coach M, as she likes to put it. There's Rick Pitino knowing and not knowing. There's the money trail. There's her pimping out her daughters. I mean, there's just a whole lot of layers to this story. Listening to the interview earlier today, it's just like,
together.
I feel sticky. I need to go take a shower afterwards. This feels very filthy to me. So it's going to be interesting to see where the money takes them moving forward, because the money's going to lead them to a lot of places.
You mentioned the money. They were able to track a wire trail with some money going straight to her accounts in the past. Coach M, Andre McGee, said he would go to the ATM to get some money, and he did not come back with a few 20s. He came back with bundles, strapped. So again, where is that money coming from? You mentioned the daughters, and she said a lot of the reason why she did this was for the money. I mean, she was upfront about it. So this is very, very sticky, and a bunch of more details are going to continue to come to the limelight.
We sport on deals, on court.
Whenever you're dealing with a situation like this, you always have to wonder who's in control. And should the coach, Rick Pitino, he's claiming that he didn't know. Now, this is underneath his umbrella. This is his program. This is his watch. He's the CEO of the ship. He's the El Capitan of everything that's happening. He's the man in Louisville. Ty. When he said that he did not know what was going on or what was happening, do you believe him?
He could be telling the truth. Okay, all right. He is a coach for a premier program in the U.S. He's got to watch games. He's got to put game plans together. He's got to do a little bit of recruiting, watch some tapes. He's got to stay on top of their grades now. So now you're telling me he has to stay on top of, I mean, who knows what they do when they leave, the practice facility. He lets them have their fun.
Ty. What's the theme of this show, Ty?
Worst.
Exactly so. And why? Because he was on his worst behavior. Ty, there is no way There is no way that he didn't have an inkling of information that he knew.
Slander!
No, not slander. He had to, look, it had to be some type of reports to know that, look, yo, they over here at Minority Hall getting it in, coach. You might want to go take a look at that. I mean, they got strippers, they got alcohol. I mean, they over here having a blast. He has to know within a 4-year period, even if he said that he didn't know, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. Ty, there are known, there are unknown knowns, and there are unknown unknowns. And Ty, he still should have known that this was an unknown unknown.
No, let's talk about the known knowns, okay? You're talking a man who won it all in 2013, into the College Basketball Hall of Fame. So, you know what, Pitino, I think you're telling the truth.
You can't even say that with a straight face. Because you know why? He's on his
worst
behavior.
We sport on deals, on court.
Okay, so Larry Brown, we've got Pitino now.
Boeheim.
Coach Jim Boeheim. Is this a problem in NCAA? Not even just basketball, but we're talking about basketball. Like, what does this mean for the NCAA? I mean, is this already happening? I mean, let's not be naive about it.
I mean, let's not be naive about it. You have these cash programs. Louisville is a cash program. SMU getting Larry Brown is a cash program. Syracuse is a cash program. So are there dirty dealings that's going on underneath the table? I mean, let's not be naive about it. I mean, there are some, I'm not going to say all universities or all colleges, but there probably is a lot of dirty dealings that's going on underneath the table. Don't forget about the UNC scandal that just happened not too long ago as well. So to be naive about the point, I mean, you can't ignore the fact that money is being ranked in hand over foot, and within college athletics and college in general, the donors, the boosters, the people that give the money are really in control of the program. So if they say, hey, look, go out and go have a party and do X, Y, and Z, we going to give you $10 million, you're going to do X, Y, and Z for that $10 million. That's just the way that college athletic goes, especially at big-time universities.
We can't act like we didn't see Jesus Shuttlesworth, played by Ray Allen, and he got game, because his visit to that school, that was quite the visit. So I do believe this is happening in schools all over the country, but this deep, I mean, like this prostitution.
You would hope not. Like you would hope not, because what image are you showing to the university? What integrity does the university have when something like this happens? What does this happen to Rick Pitino moving forward? Does the president have to come in and clean house for the whole athletic department, AD all the way down? So it's sticky. Like I said before, it's very sticky, it's very messy, and we'll see when more details come out later on.
Greenberg says that he doesn't think Pitino comes back. Something else I need to mention, so prostitution, there's a 1-year limit of statutations on that, and there's a 10-year on dealing it. So while Katrina Powell came out to get this money, she still falls into that 10-year window for that, what happened for those 4 years for Louisville. So we'll see how that plays out.
She's very cautious about her words. She was just there for the party. Coach M did everything else.
We sport on deals, on court.
So Ty, Louisville was not the only team on their worst behavior this past weekend. There's another team in Indianapolis that was on their what, Ty?
Worst
behavior this past weekend. Ty, tell me what the Colts were thinking when they did this last special teams play. What were they thinking, Ty?
I wish I could. I don't have an answer for you. I know Pagano's looking for an answer for you. We're talking about a year where his job may be on the line. We don't know what's going to happen when the season's all said and done. We know they're going to win the division. It's a bad division, but when you're playing the Pats, you have Deflategate. You have all the attention that's being brought to this game, and you do. I don't know. I don't know. Like, in no universe, in no alternate reality, does that play ever work. So I don't know. Did they not practice it? Did it work in the practice? Because if it worked in practice, you need a new practice squad. Is it like Tannehill and their players, they said, hey, just let Tannehill get this one. Is he telling the special teams practice team, don't worry about it, just let us run the play? I don't know what's happening. I have no answer for you. I wish I did. I usually do. I don't have an answer.
Worst decision, worst play, worst insert adjective, period. I don't know what Coach Pagano was thinking at all whatsoever. I mean, Ty, it was just like he was just kind of, you know how you go in the backyard and kind of just draw plays like, oh, this makes sense. Let's run this.
Oh, this looks nice. Look at how everyone separates.
Everyone separates, but what he didn't know was that 4 people was going to stay on the ball and old boy got killed. But they actually called that in the huddle. Like, that was an actual play. And they agreed with that actual play. They agreed with that, Ty.
We sport on deals, on court.
The bigger problem in Indianapolis, not even just what may or may not happen to Coach Pagano. Andrew Luck and these Colts, they cannot beat the Patriots. Came close. Why is it? Why can't they get it done?
Because they like to do stuff like that. That last play, that special teams play shows you why. It shows you why, Indianapolis fans, why they cannot beat the Patriots. See, now, if the Patriots did a play like that, they would have got a touchdown.
Brilliant! Genius!
It would have been genius. Look, they threw it to Gronk. But no, you know what they did? They didn't throw it to Gronk because they don't have Gronk. Remember how last year in a playoff, the Patriots had offensive linemen go downfield and catch balls and have like regular ineligible play. See, that's genius. Mm-hmm. I don't know what this was. This right here is why Indianapolis would never beat the Pats. Period. ... End of discussion.
I can also add another nail to this discussion. Pats have Tom Brady and Belichick. Boom. And again, if you do fire your coach, you're going to kind of be resetting things a little bit, and it's going to be on someone else to see if they have a way to beat them. Sorry. Julian Edelman said it best. It was shame on them, and it's just the Colts.
We sport on deals, on court.
Shame on LOB. They are on their
worst
behavior this past weekend. Came down to Seattle.
Whoa, Cam.
With a game-winning drive and went down to Seattle. Is LOB even feared? Are they feared? Do teams line up and be like, oh, well, that's Cam, that's Earl, and that's Sherman.
And him over there.
Do they even call him LOB, or is that's the Seahawks secondary?
3/4 of this secondary is still intact. Yes, they are still feared, but just like the Tampa 2, we can call this the Seattle 3. If you basically run the same defense and you say, this is our play, like they did to Peyton Manning in Super Bowl, this is what we're going to run, beat us, okay? Now you have Cam who's got an arm. You've got these athletic tight ends. That seems to be the biggest thing. You have these cover 3 beaters, and you have tight ends like Gates, Eifert, Gronk. You can split them out wide. So you got to keep with the times. The Wildcat came and gone. The cover 2, the Tampa 2, whatever it is, came and gone. You got to keep adjusting. So they need to throw something else in the defensive bag of tricks.
You know what is interesting? I think for the first time in a long time, I saw Richard Sherman follow the number 1 receiver when they played Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. I didn't watch a lot of the Carolina-Seattle game, just the highlights. But to me, if I would say who is Cam Newton's number 1 option in Carolina, who would you say?
Greg Olsen, BU.
And for me, when it's crunch time, I think it would be imperative to cover his number 1 target.
Greg Olsen, the U?
Yeah, exactly. So,
worst.
But you know what they did? They let that man just run straight down the field, then let him go straight into the end zone, and then let him just catch a touchdown pass. The game-winning touchdown pass at that. And it's blood in the water. Now the Sharks are circling around Legion of Boom. Now everybody wants a piece of LOB.
We're going to get into that. We had the conversation in the past about who the most important LB member was. I said Cam. You said Sherman. At the end of the game, who's there looking at each other like, that's your man. What was you doing? It was those two.
See what happens when you hold out? Bad communication skills, man.
We sport on deals, on court.
We're seeing some things in Seattle that we haven't seen in a long time. So let's see if they're going to revert back to the team they were in the past. Is this the end of Seattle's run?
Yes.
Just yes.
Just yes. A lot of egos. A lot of people want to get paid. You can't pay everybody. Yes. Yes. When you create that type of culture of high intensity, everybody for themselves. Well, not everybody for themselves, because Seattle is a brotherhood. But when you create that atmosphere, high intensity, us against the world, kind of arrogant attitude, that could only last you so long until teams are going to come around and figure you out. Think about the 49ers run. They had that 4-year window when they had Jim Harbaugh. Think about Rex Ryan's teams, when he the 2 years when he was with the Jets. I think when you have teams like that, their run is only so long. And add things on top of that, everybody's trying to get paid. Marshawn is not the same Marshawn. Offensive line sucks. Now you're starting to find cracks in that secondary. So, yep, I think it was like the beginning of the end.
I would have to disagree. Now, it looks bad right now. Don't forget, they do have a first-round pick. They gave that up. You know what? They don't need first-round picks because this is a team that finds gems later on in the draft, okay? Richard Sherman, they found him late. Cam, they found him late. Wagner was a second-round pick, I believe. So this team knows how to work the draft. Lockett looks good. So let them have a rough patch. I believe their scouting will get them back where they need to be. Not to mention they have the number one person on that roster that they need is at the quarterback position, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
We sport on deals, on court.
You know who else was on their worst behavior and who has been on their worst behavior for this past NFL season?
This one was the absolute worst.
That would be NFL referees. PSA. Refs, we don't know what a catch is at this point in time. I don't know if it's 2 feet, ball can't touch the ground. I don't know what this. Ty, what happened in Detroit? Was that a catch? Was that an incomplete? Was that a fumble? Was that a interception? I don't even know what this is.
Now, this is near and dear to my heart, but this has nothing to do with any Chicago bias. Of course, it will be Golden Tate. Of course, the Lions would be affected by this, by whatever it is a catch is. But this was not a catch, okay? So, Calvin, they're coming down. Dez coming down. Tate was standing up. He loses the ball. He doesn't even really possess it. He's not a runner. So what's this notion that just because he breaks the plane, it's okay? But if you catch it, you have to come down and complete the process. He didn't go down to the ground, but he lost the ball. If that happens to the field of play, it's an interception. He's not a runner. He can't just break the plane and that's it. We saw the same thing happen with Tyler Eifert. We saw the same thing with Devonta Freeman. I don't know what's going on, man. Tate is just Tate's the man when it comes to the refs. He's a zebra.
We'll
circle of life, man.
We'll get on that a little bit later. But if I said describe the Lions and Bears season, I think that particular play would describe their season in a nutshell.
Worst
behavior, ... period.
We sport on deals, on court.
We all saw it. Michigan State.
Worst.
What happened to Michigan, Marv?
Worst.
Straight like that.
Worst. Look, I was watching the game. There's 20 seconds left. It's like, you know what? They got this last interception. This game is over with. I'm going to sit here and chill and wait till the LSU game come on because I want to watch LSU in Florida. As I was watching, something proceeded to happen. Michigan was on their worst behavior. So, punter tried to kick, dropped the punt, picked it up, scored a touchdown, and Michigan State is clowning on Michigan as we speak still. End of story.
I'm going to tell you what happened. Michigan has been the big dog for a long time, but you're not, okay? Michigan State, they know how to finish, while the Wolverines are just not a finished product. Don't forget, the Spartans came back and beat Baylor, one of the hottest teams in the country right now, in the Cotton Bowl last year. The Spartans have been in Rose Bowl recently, and they have the longevity as of recent of what it takes to be a top program, the only program to finish in the top 5 for the last 2 years. So they're a finished product. But again, Wolverines is worst.
We sport on deals, on court.
Can you blame anybody but the punter for their loss?
Everyone's blaming the punter, but yes, I can find someone else to blame. We talked about the refs for the tape play. Let's blame the refs for they ejected Michigan captain Joe Bolin for targeting. Now, if you see the replay, he was pushed down into Connor Cook. Now, don't forget, once Bolin left, Michigan State finally scored. This is a defense for Michigan that hadn't given up any points since the end of September. So when you lose your defensive captain, I think it has, it plays a factor in the game.
Tools of incompetence. For those that use them, build pyramids of nothing.
Worst.
No, it's the punter's fault. He should have just fell on the ball, fall on the sword, do what you're supposed to do, catch the ball, do your job. But no, this man tries to kick it. And at that point in time, you might as well just try to pull a face mask or trip or punch or something. At least try to get him down to the ground. But no.
I'm throwing shoes. I'm throwing cleats.
Yeah, I'm doing anything and everything. But not only did the Michigan State player score, and I can't remember his name, but he scored and broke his hip afterwards.
Worse, you want to talk about worse? Can we address the issue of dogpiling on whoever makes a play? You're just going to get him hurt. But I'll give you some love. Jalen Watts Jackson. I'll give you some love. Jalen Watts Jackson. Salute. Michigan State hero in history from here on out. Respect.
We sport on deals, on court.
Toronto has been smacking the cover off the ball. And when they played Texas, they had that big scene and everything that's happening. But Joey Batista with the infamous bat flip.
Awesome.
But a lot of Texas Rangers fans were a little bit in their chest. They weren't a little happy about that, Ty.
Feelings.
What do you think? Do you think that baseball is policing themselves a little bit too much? Do you think they're taking the fun out of baseball?
Don't forget about the Cubs who are smacking those balls out against the Cardinals. Sorry, Steve. But yes. This is supposed to be entertainment, okay? When someone hits a home run, they should be allowed to celebrate. You ain't hit this home run, so you can't sit home and talk about decorum. I hate that word when it comes. Okay, you know how much work they put into this? If I slap it out of the park, if I score a touchdown, if I get a goal in soccer, I'm going to celebrate, okay? And I've earned it, okay? I'm not trying to draw attention to myself. Matter of fact, I may even celebrate with my team. Let them get into it. We may choreograph some stuff.
You know what? What baseball has is they have a lot of unwritten rules. I need to know, like I said before, there are known, there are unknown knowns, and there are unknown unknowns. What are some of these unknown rules that baseball has that we don't know about? Ty, I don't understand. See, you're better than me because I would have took the bat, I would have ran around the bases, then I would have bat flipped, then I would have got my other bat, then I would have threw it into the crowd, then I would have got another one, I would have put a Sharpie, I would have signed it. Like, I would have had a whole bunch of fun because the way that he hit this home run in a play, it's the playoffs. It's the playoffs. And this is big for the city of Toronto. It was huge for the city of Toronto.
The six.
Worst. But hey, he's better than me because I would have been over and beyond. Look, send me my $15,000.
That's fine.
I'll take that fine.
I'm moonwalking home.
Exactly so. So, no disagreement with Joey Bats, but yeah, they're definitely taking the fun out of baseball.
That's why no one watches.
We sport on deals, on court.
Now that we got the excitement of the end of the Michigan State-Michigan game out of the way, let's talk about the serious part, the more solemn part. Blake O'Neal, now infamous punter, after having a really good game, to be honest. He's
a punter.
Prior to, it was an 80-yard, field position. Okay, whatever. He has now become the subject of a bunch of threats, death threats, just bullying, and from a bunch of Twitter thugs on Twitter, letters. The AD, Jim Hackett, has come out and said, Wolverine Nation, we need to support our own. So let's have a more serious conversation about these fans and what makes them think they have the right to really say the things they say against athletes, whether collegiate or professional.
Well, fan is short for fanatic. And after that loss, they were fanatic. They were irrational. I understand it was a big loss. You losing to one of your in-state rivals. So, yeah, you could be heartbroken, you could be upset, but there's no reason for someone to go on Twitter to really insult that individual, to really bully that person. We see what cyberbullying has done to people in the past, where people have committed suicide and people have went through serious mental problems because all this social media that's out, and you can easily just @ somebody or tweet somebody or hashtag somebody.
Twitter thugs.
And all it takes is just that one person. It takes one person to take it too far, and now we're having a
Totally
campus
different discussion.
Yeah, we're having a campus incident. Totally different discussion.
Agreed. Twitter thugs, sit down, man. So many people love saying so many things over a computer or via keyboard. But if you're not gonna say in my face, I know especially when it comes to a lot of these professionals. Not to mention they're bringing in people's daughters. They're talking about raping your children. Just awful, awful things. So something needs to be done. I mean, everyone likes to have a voice. Your voice isn't that important, okay? If you're on Twitter tweeting these athletes, you probably may have not accomplished much, okay? Blake O'Neal has accomplished quite a bit. The man's from Australia. He did some modeling, I guess. He was a pretty good fashion model. Used that money to pay for some degrees. He's got like 2 masters. He's working on a PhD at Michigan, okay? So he's done more than a lot of you Twitter thugs have done. So just let it go. Let it go, okay?
And it's interesting because the same people that are coming for his head would be the same people that's probably asking him for jobs later on down the line with the education. So.
Oh, yeah. Twitter will bring the racists, the bigots, the haters. But it's so much fun sometimes.
Oh, wow.
They should have never gave y'all internet.
Worse.
We sport on deals, on court.
So you know what we like to do here at First Contention. When there's an issue, when there's a topic that everyone's talking about, we don't let it die. We just add more fuel to the fire. Why not? The roof is on fire, so let that bleep burn. So that's what we do here. Ty?
For this show, worse. Just continue. Just
Exactly so. So, Ty, which play was worse? Michigan or Indianapolis?
the Colts. Because like you said, someone called it. And I don't know if it worked in practice, but they thought it would work. If you were going to put someone under center, it might as be Andrew Luck, okay? So what's the point of having, Waylon? Exactly. You have nobody under center with no one to block for him. So I don't know what they expected. It's hands down that play call, not to mention that is a professional football team, and Pagano, his job is on the.
Oh yeah, he's on the hot seat. Yeah, he's on the hot seat.
That's not a good way to cool it down. Buddy.
But let me tell you why it's Michigan. It's Michigan for a couple of reasons.
Can't convince me that it's Michigan.
Well,
can't.
even as bad as that Colts play was, and it was bad.
Awful.
It was bad. It wasn't the deciding play to lose a football game. There were still plays afterwards that the Colts had to win the game. But this Michigan play decided the game. This was it. I mean, Michigan was just like, yep, well, we beat Michigan State this year.
Hell to the.
Yep.
I love that song, by the way.
We beat Michigan State. Oh, wait a second. No. And for anyone that hasn't seen that kid, please. Ohio State is so much of a troll.
Look at this.
Oh, Ohio State.
Would you look at this?
Oh,
Look at
Ohio
this.
State is not right. Oh, that's why people can't stand Ohio, and that's why it's really Ohio against the world.
Heartbreaking loss. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
We sport on deals, on court.
What is, if you can recall, what is the most heartbreaking loss in sports history?
Let me give you, not heartbreaking loss. Heartbreaking loss is. Because I'm going to go to a particular franchise, the Buffalo Bills. Now, they did a great accomplishment. They went to the Super Bowl 4 straight years. But they lost 4 straight years when they went to the Super Bowl. And you know what else was the worst play? The Music City Miracle. Boy, oh boy. Frank Wycheck to Kevin Dyson for that touchdown. I thought worse.
I like it. He's bringing in some other folks in there. I'm going to speak on one, homegrown, kind of, not really, but we are here. Minnesota Vikings, they went to the Super Bowl 4 times. They haven't won any of those, so that's one. But I'll put on my homer hat. 2003, Cubs, Marlins. The Cubs are 4 outs from eliminating the Marlins, and Steve Bartman gets in the way of a baseball that Moises Alou was for sure going to catch. What happens? They're up 3-0. They're up 3-2 in the series. The Marlins just go on and score 8 scores that inning, and they end up losing, and now they're back. So, Bartman, that was that hurt. That hurt. I was an avid fan back then. I'm along for the ride now because, Chi-Town staying up and all that, but that hurt.
You know what? I feel your pain, Ty.
I'm not falling for it. I'm not dumb. Worst. You're an awful friend.
No, I'm absolutely the worst friend possible because, that's what Chicago is going through right now. Because they're losing to the Mets and they will not win that series moving forward to go to the World Series.
We sport on deals, on court.
Well, this concludes another episode of First Contention.
Thanks for watching. We want to know what you guys think. What was some of the worst plays? Is Louisville on their worst behavior? And what's going on in Seattle, okay? But before we leave, don't forget, like the video, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter while you're at it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share, subscribe.
Yeah, please do all of that.
Do it on Twitter too, but don't talk about people because it's not right. Stop Internet Bullying 2015. This PSA is approved by Ty Solcina.
Well, thank you for that soliloquy, Ty. For Marvin Banks, for Voice of God back there, even though he's kind of quiet back there today.
Let's talk about some of his recruiting trips.
That would be saved for the book later on.
1, 2, 3, so.
He pleads the fifth.
Please the fifth. But for him and for Ty Solcina, signing off.
Trey's up. Worst
Behavior.
If you don't know now, you know now.
Ride with First Contention, that's full throttle in. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention. First Contention. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention. First Contention. Game face grit, like born for playoffs. Say it all in small time like payoffs.